AEW Forbidden Door 2025 is heading to London, AEW is looking into running an event in Australia next year, and John Cena has revealed who he believes is the greatest of all time. Welcome to Wrestling Republic News, your daily show that brings you all the non-dirt sheet wrestling news in the time that it takes for you to drink your morning coffee. Before we get into things today, if you can leave a like and subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. Now let's get into it. Forbidden Door 2025 is heading to London, and All In 2026 is officially heading back to London. Now, AEW haven't announced this yet, and you guys know us, we're non-dirt sheet. We don't announce these dirt sheet reports or anything like that. So why are we reporting it? Well, it's because Wembley Stadium are now advertising it. It's outside Wembley Stadium today. Big graphics advertising it. AEW Forbidden Door 2025 is heading to London. Now, we don't know where in London, but realistically, you have to think, considering it's not All In, it's probably going to be an arena event. Perhaps Wembley Arena. That's very much a possibility. In fact, that's what I would guess it is. And if it is an arena like that, honestly, this is going to be a really hot ticket, I think. It could sell out the day the tickets come out. Because, hey, AEW have already sold 50,000 for Wembley Stadium this year. So around 10k, I think they're going to sell out instantly in the UK. But what's more interesting is All In 2026, because it doesn't say it's returning to Wembley, it says it's returning to London. So the question here is it going to go to Wembley, or is it potentially going to go to Craven Cottage? Of course, we know AEW have the relationship with Fulham Football Club Stadium because Tony Khan owns it. But yes, I mean, that could also potentially happen. There's a lot of rumblings going on about WWE running Wembley next year. Of course, I predicted SummerSlam happening next summer in Wembley Stadium, but that has not been announced yet, and I thought it would have been announced by now if that was happening, so who knows. But what we do know is Forbidden Door 2025 is heading to London, and All In 2026 is coming back to London. But it's not just UK AEW fans who should be happy today, because AEW CEO Tony Khan has officially confirmed that AEW are looking into the possibility of doing an event in Australia in 2025. During the AEW All In media call yesterday, Tony Khan was asked about the possibility of doing an event in Australia, and he said they are looking into multiple different venues, multiple different possibilities to do an event in Australia next year. Now, what's really interesting about this is he didn't say, oh, it could be as early as next year. He said next year. So this tells me they might already have something planned, especially because on the media call, he said, oh yeah, I think we might look into, doing an event in the UK next year. And then less than 12 hours later, it's been confirmed it's already done. So I think it's a very, very real possibility that an AEW event in Australia is set to be confirmed very, very soon. Tony Khan described 2025 as what will be a milestone year for AEW, and it's very interesting that they're trying to do a lot of international events. Of course, they're teaming up with New Japan for an event in the Tokyo Dome on January 5th this year as well. So they're doing a lot of international shows next year, and of course, that is a tactic which WWE have been doing for the last couple of years now, and it's worked out very, very well for them. So I think it's a great move for AEW to follow suit and to try and see if they can have success doing the same thing. John Cena has revealed who he believes is the greatest of all time. During an interview with Club Shay Shay, John Cena said that he believes Roman Reigns is the greatest wrestler of all time. Interestingly, followed by The Rock. He explained that WWE is currently doing better than it ever has been before, and who is the face of the company? It's Roman Reigns. Who got them to that point? It's Roman Reigns. So honestly, when you look at it like that, it's a point which is hard to argue. Reigns did take the company through a pandemic, through an era with no fans, and still made the weekly product compelling. His segments were always must watch, and that has to be applauded. And I think he's always been great in the ring as well, Roman Reigns. Even with the big dog gimmick, people gave him hate, including me at times, but in the ring was never the issue. The issue was on the mic, and he's improved so much on the mic in recent years, so I do think there's an argument that could be made there. Bobby Lashley has given an update on his future now that he has left WWE. Appearing on the Bo and Them show, Bobby Lashley revealed that he still wants to continue to wrestle because not only does he love to wrestle, but he also loves wrestling fans. But he doesn't just want to wrestle, because on top of wrestling, he wants to do MMA, boxing, acting, and continuing to work on his non-profit for kids charities. I mean, Bobby Lashley clearly must just like being busy, because that's a lot of stuff, but what's really crazy is the amount of physical things he wants to do. I don't think, and I might be wrong here, especially perhaps in Japan in the 90s, but I don't think there's ever been a wrestler before who's been wrestling, boxing, and doing MMA all at the same time. But the question is, where should Bobby Lashley go in wrestling now? Because, of course, I think the place where perhaps he'd fit the best is TNA. But do TNA have the money? A lot of people are quick to say no, but the truth of the matter is they potentially do, because Will Ospreay said that they made him a competitive offer this year, and we know that he was being offered $1 million contract, right? So clearly TNA do have some funds that they can use if they feel that the star's big enough, and Bobby Lashley, well, he is certainly a big star. TNA's schedule is also, it's very part-time, so Lashley would have time to, do other things such as the boxing and MMA if he does go there. But I still think AEW is probably the most likely option, but I just don't know if he'll fit in there. I mean, he should fit in there because he's so different to every other guy that they have. But let's face it, AEW's potential one weakness is booking big guys, and I'm just not sure if it would work out. But now it's time for the weekend preview, and let's kick things off with tonight's Friday Night SmackDown. Because tonight's SmackDown is a little bit of a stacked one. We have firstly Cody Rhodes, who's going to be coming out, and he's going to be asking Grayson Waller what he wants to talk about, as he is calling him out for a quote-unquote chat. He's turning into a Twitch streamer. But also the team of Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair will be teaming up to take on Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn and Blair Davenport. We have a United States Championship match as Santos Escobar takes on the United States Champion LA Knight. Yeah! And we have a Tag Team Championship match as the Bloodline try and defend the Tag Team Championships against the Street Profits. And that match, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But of course, that isn't the only wrestling event this weekend. Not at all, because we have AEW All In Wembley 2024. It's going to be the last All In London for a couple of years now, and I'm going to be attending it, and I'm very excited. But here is the card. We have Toni Storm defending the AEW Women's Championship against Mariah May. MJF defending the now AEW American Championship against Will Ospreay. We have Jack Perry versus Darby Allin in a coffin match. And Mercedes Moné will be defending the TBS Championship against DMD Britt Baker. We will also be having a very exciting Casino Gauntlet match, with the winner getting an AEW Championship opportunity at All Out in a couple of weeks' time. And we also have Chris Jericho taking on Hook for the FTW Championship, and it's Hook's last chance to win back the belt. For the AEW Tag Team Championships, we have a three-way between the Young Bucks, FTR, and the Acclaimed. And for the Trios Championships, we have a fatal four-way Trios match, and that's the Patriarchy versus the Bang Bang Gang versus House of Black and another team, which will be decided on AEW Collision. I mean, that's going to be a lot of guys in one ring, won't it? But of course, the main event, title versus career. I am hyped for this. Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson. That is going to be a banger of a bout. I cannot wait for it. But that's all the news for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back on Monday with more WR news. So I will see you. Actually, I won't be back on Monday because I'll still be in London for All In weekend on Monday. But I will be back on Tuesday for some more WR news. So I will see you guys then. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys. Peace.